All right, so here we've got an automation that could be used for like plumbers or electricians. Primary purposes here are just going to be to capture those service requests instantaneously and get them qualified straight away using AI. We're going to automate that job scheduling process as well as confirmations for the homeowner. We're going to have the ETA, just sort of prep reminders and letting people know when the technicians will be arriving. That is all automated as well. And then follow up after service for reviews or additional work. That's all automated on the back end. So first things first, lead's going to enter the system. That could be by call, text, or website, or chatbot inside a website. There's a lot of ways to do that. But once the lead enters the system, AI will be initiated. Now, if that's going to be SMS or call, the AI will handle it. If they came through some kind of web form online, there's not really any AI there. The web form will have all of the information needed that the homeowner will have to fill out in order to submit the form. So you don't really need an AI in that case. So, in the event of an emergency for either electrician or plumber, it's going to automatically send an SMS notification to the closest tech, letting them know what's going on, as well as your dispatch if applicable, so that they're also aware and they can sort of iron out your schedule from there. Considering if you're going to add a stop midday and you already have a full schedule, there's obviously going to be some extra communication that's going to be necessary to alert clients that may not, that were supposed to get service that day, that they may not be getting service that day, depending on what goes on. So, really not going to automate too much of the emergency process just because it can get a little hairy. It gets a little, a little convoluted, a lot of those processes, especially when you're moving all kinds of stuff around on schedules. And while the AIs are great, in a situation like that, we don't want to have any kind of, mix ups, even if it's 1 in 100. You don't want that kind of thing, especially emergencies. People really need the help. So just, really just alerting people to what's going on in that case scenario. Now, if it's just a regular booking where maybe they need a water heater replaced, or their electrical panel needs some looking at, the AI will handle all that, or the web form will handle all that. Now, once the booking's completed, the AI will be either put into standby mode or activated for the web form people may not have been on initially. But it's going to sit in standby, pretty much until the day of or 24 hours beforehand, just to handle any lingering questions or reschedules if necessary. Now, 24 hours before the service date, that confirmation SMS and email will be sent to the homeowner containing pre-service instructions, which is pretty much just in making sure that when the technician arrives, the area they need to be in to complete the service is going to be, as accessible as it can be to them, and any other, relevant information. Maybe if it's an electrician or something, we're going to turn the fuse box off, so don't expect to have, electricity in X part of the house, during the service type of thing. Just sort of alerting the homeowners to what's going on. Now, on the day of the appointment, the homeowners will receive updates on the plumber or electrician's arrival time. They'll come through, be here in an hour. He's just arrived, just keeping them up to date on what's going on. Now, once that service is completed, they're going to head, feedback request will be sent out. Negative feedback is noted and will be sent off to the account user or whoever would be, involved in the sort of improvement process or implementing some kind of fix based on what that feedback is. Now, positive feedback will be met with a request for a review, thank you message, and maybe a promo for whenever that review is left. If they ever need work again in the future, or they want another service or something like that, they could utilize that promo that they got from completing that review. This one's pretty basic. There's not a ton going on here. It's really just trying to automate that upfront process, get those leads in, get them organized, get them into the system. As they come in, nobody really has to wait because the AI is always there to be attentive and handle that situation. And then we're going to try to automate that sort of alerts process so that the homeowner is kept in the loop to what's going on, and then also just automating that back end process, getting those reviews, and trying to build that online credibility.